Sagittarius, hello, welcome. This is channeled readings with water spirits. I do have cards with me. So I will be pulling cards, but this also might turn into like a channeling. So we'll see what is going to come. I don't get a read on your energy, Sag. How have you been? It's been a long time, I know. I wanted to come on here a few weeks ago, but there was a blockage with Aries that needed to be sorted out. That has been, I think so. We'll see, I guess. We'll see how things transpire. Let's see. Actually, hold on one second. I'm going upstream right now, so give me 1 second. We're gonna start floating down, and I want to get a different deck out, so I kind of want to like, hold on. I want to come up here where it's a little bit more still, and I can use a different deck. Enjoy the water sounds for a second. Me struggling. No, it's not that bad. It's been like storming a lot too, which was keeping me from doing these because I wanted to finish my water channeling so I can move on. My back started hurting in the Leo reading. I want to use a different deck for you guys. Ew, don't touch me. I have my feet in the water. I feel like it'll help me channel energies better, maybe. Okay. Are you guys going to be like spending some time outside with the like rest of your summer? If you're in a different part of the world, I apologize, but you know, I'm in the United States, so you know, obviously it is summer here. I get the energy that you might be spending some time outside. Yeah, I feel that like I'm not picking up on your energy really well, Sag. This isn't like us. We're usually very close. You know, I went to a show while I was in Vegas, and like at the beginning of the show they had the performers were like walking through the crowd and like saying hi to people, and one of them came up to me and he was talking to me and he was like, I love your energy, I can tell you're a Sagittarius. And I was like, I am not a Sagittarius. But unfortunately I feel like men do this a lot. Like men will be into astrology where like they know their sun sign, or like at most they know their big three. So I started to try to explain to him why he would get Sagittarius energy from me, and like his like eyes glazed over. And I was like, I'm sorry, I do astrology, I did astrology professionally, so you're barking up the wrong tree here. But I thought that was funny. I usually like vibe. There are certain signs that I get along with really well, and Sagittarius is one of them. I always talk about how much I love you guys at every beginning of every reading. What's funny is that that's a lie. They're the signs that I struggle with. I struggle with Aries. I usually like immediately Aries want to beef with me, but the thing is that it doesn't matter. I did something very nice for Aries today that I have never done for another sign. So you know, we're burying the hatchet there. Anyways, maybe I told you this is gonna be mostly me just kind of like talking, and it'll probably resonate with your situation. If not, then you know, you might want to just like wait till next time. What I'm getting here is that you guys are in an energy of like secrecy. There's like secrets hidden right now, and it's like find secrets hidden in the bramble. And then it's the silent one, watch the shifting shadows and be a caretaker of silence. It's very much like being quiet. I do get that you guys have like fairy energy. Like I was saying, what the first energy I was getting is that you might have like some sort of like camping trip, or like have like intentions of like spending time outside, or you might be encouraged to do so, but it's more so like doing it and then sitting in silence. I get there is magic unfolding, but the work's already been done for you for the most part. So it's not an energy of like you need to put forth any more energy towards something. It's kind of just like sitting back and allowing things to unfold is where you are. Yeah, and then the next two cards, this is funny. It's keep courage and be gentle, and then the raven shows the way. Be courageous. Change and chance can bring exciting wonders. Yeah, this new moon that we're under right now in Leo is significant, is bringing in new energy. Yeah, there's a key, there's something that's like opening up for you right now. Be gentle with what you say to others. I'm really getting for you, Sag, right now. Maybe this is just like a reading for me to tell you, like, keep things to yourself. I wish I could like give you guys like a more of a perspective, but like there have been dragonflies around me the whole time, and one just like flew by my leg when I said that. There's an energy of, there might be somebody that's gossiping around you or gossiping to you. And if you do choose to partake, which don't talk about what you have going on. There's a need to keep your privacy right now and keep stuff to yourself, keep your manifestations to yourself. But I do get that somebody might be gossiping about you, or what I really get here is that there is somebody that is like has been partaking in gossip about you, and they might be sending in like a third party to like try to get information. Like you might find, as you are like kind of like practice more like, you know, being stoic and sitting back, that people, that always happens to me, are more like attracted to your energy. That always happens to me. Whenever I feel like sometimes it's hard for me with like trying to like unmask, like being neurodivergent and trying to like unmask, especially like in my real life outside of here. I've talked to some of the other signs about it. Like during my break from YouTube, I went to therapy for several months, and my therapist ended up asking me one day, she's like, why are you so like humble about like your spiritual work? She's like, you've done a lot with your spiritual work, and like you've accomplished a lot, but you do not talk about it. Like, why don't you, like, you don't even give yourself credit for all that you've done? And I was like, honestly, I have found when I talk about it, I get really negative reactions. I don't think I've ever talked about like my spiritual work like to the fullest of what I do and had a good reaction out of somebody. Like sometimes people like, you know, are like, oh, I want you to do a reading for me, which like, you know, of course I would love to, that's fine. Not that that's negative at all, but like when I talk about the occult especially, which is like, you know, something I'm really passionate about, it makes people very uncomfortable. So I've just learned that, you know, going along to get along is what they're saying. The dragonfly is significant. That was their message as well. Let's see, sometimes I wish I could show you guys like what's going on, what I'm looking at, because the dragonfly just came and like hovered over your card and then went away, and that's what they wanted to say. So there's an energy of that. I really get that there might be there's just like a need to kind of like protect yourself and your energy right now. And it's saying keep courage and be gentle though. So I'm getting, oh my gosh. They want you, I get like be gentle with yourself, sure, but like there's also like some people, you might be in an energy, sorry, I know I'm kind of bouncing a lot, you'll have to forgive me. You guys aren't even really working with like water energy, it's more like air right now, because it's more like bouncy energy. So I don't know if you might have air in your chart, you might have you have air. Anyways, with be gentle, try to avoid starting conflict with people right now. Just kind of like keep the peace. focus on yourself. But there's two cards here, like I said, with like being courageous. So there are major like changes coming in your life, and there's like chances that are opportunities that are going to be coming up that you should really go for. But I get there's an energy of gossip around you, and there are people that might be wishing you harm. And I get that there is an energy of like flying monkeys around you, like third party people. So there's somebody that you're keeping your distance from, or somebody that's been wishing you harm that is going to be sending another person, like a mutual friend, to check on you. And they may or may not mention this other person. And what I was saying is you might notice as you pull your energy back from people that they become like more interested in you. I started to notice this. I tried to start this and then I trailed off, or I might have finished it. I don't know. You guys have like you might have an air. For some of you might be an air sign. I'm getting very like air energy. There are times when I mean, all the time, even today, when like I don't make myself super available to people just because I'm busy or I have things going on, or I'm just like, I wait sometimes to respond to somebody until I have like the time to like focus on what they're saying. Like I get a lot of people, and like I don't mind. Sometimes I'm just like overstimulated and I don't have the energy to respond. So I want you to know, if you have reached out to me, which some of you have, with like, you know, wanting help or just like needing to talk to somebody, like sometimes I don't respond, but I just like I have to have boundaries around like my time and energy, because I'm a human sometimes. But sometimes like people will like contact me, and it's like little things. Like my friends do this too. They'll like say something to me, and I like, if I don't make myself immediately available to them, it's almost like I will notice that they will like reach at my energy. Do you know what I mean? It's not really like a power dynamic, because it's not that I'm like holding power over those people or like implementing power over them. It's literally just like sitting in my own power. Like I've noticed that this happens more when I'm like working on a creative project. Like a lot of times I will like when I'm working on like these readings, for instance, I like won't reply to people for the entire day just because I have like stuff going on, and I can tell that it causes discomfort in other people because they're used to me being available to them. And it is not a negative thing, because these are people that like I have relationships where I want them to be able to rely on me. I don't have a problem with people relying on me and like, you know, reaching out to me for support or even just like for conversation. I don't mind that. But I can't always be available. And that's what I'm getting here, is like, for some of you, you need to be courageous and like taking new chances and allowing change to unfold in your life and allowing magic. But it's also an energy of like being gentle with yourself and being gentle with others, because what I'm really getting, Sag, is that as you start to protect your energy more, because you might have gone through a period. I feel like this is kind of a Sagittarius energy, where you guys are known for like being the loud ones and being like, you know, the life of the party and like being magnetic. Like sometimes you need time to yourself, and there's always like people that are going to take that, you know, as like a rejection, but that's really their own thing. And I personally believe this is a weird channel message, so this might not, you might get tidbits here and there, or it might just not be your message, and you know, we can see you next time. I don't remember what I was saying. I think sometimes that's something that I feel like therapy really helped me with, is I was struggling with connecting with people sometimes, and I would honestly like get kind of overstimulated and then get like resentful, and it was really because I wasn't like setting good boundaries, and I didn't really know how to set boundaries with people in like a way that still respected me and like didn't harm the relationship. I think I I've had a lot of experiences in my life, in my past, where anytime I tried to set any boundaries around like my privacy or my space or like me being an individual, I was met with a lot of like aggression from other people. That it just became like I didn't know how, or I didn't feel safe setting boundaries in some of my relationships. And that's something that therapy really helped me work through. Was I have noticed that going through therapy, I did have to lose some relationships. I had to cut some relationships off because they were not healthy and they were toxic and holding me back. And my therapist kind of like helped me work through that, which was nice. But I also noticed that some relationships that these are like people that have been in my life for a long time and that I love dearly, but there have been like, we have gone through periods of like conflict where we have just not been able to like see eye to eye or like get along. So these are people that like I love dearly, but we go through periods where we just like, you know, fuck them. Sorry. I'm trying to clean up my language. I really am. We go through periods like that. And, I like struggled with it a lot, and I like ended up like telling my therapist, I was like, I think I might have like avoidant attachment, because I get so like, I try really hard to get along with people for the most part. And that's like I have a Libra energy to me. I can explain why. Sometimes I feel like I'm over explaining to you guys and it makes me feel a little bit like maybe I should hold back, but I also feel like I am a teacher, and I feel like a lot of my audience feel close to me, and they form a connection with me through watching these. So I feel like me telling you about like little stuff, tidbits like that will help you understand, because you can see this is how I learn from like how I behave and how I respond. If you know my placements, and I can teach you how that manifests. That's my intention with it, and I think some people get it and some people don't, but you know, the right people get it. If you guys want me to teach more astrology, I can. That's how I feel like it's easier to just work it into every day. When I first started learning about astrology, I had a lot of friends that were interested in like birth chart readings, and like my family were all interested in it. So they kind of like let me prowl through and then like give them tidbits. And as I like observed their behavior is how that started to click. And then that's how I kind of learned about like different placements and how they manifest. Because I think you can learn so much from a book, but I think real life experience is invaluable. So that might be what you're learning too. I don't know what I was talking about. That's the problem with channelings, is that I tune in to the message and then I can get derailed from it. What were we? Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna try to like see if I can find where that thought was supposed to go. I've started many thoughts and trailed off. Okay, the one about therapy. What I have found, after like working with my therapist, I got to the point I started to feel like I might have an avoidant attachment, because I was like, I will tolerate so much with people to the point that I am fed up with them and I dislike them and I dislike their character, and then I will cut them off and I have no remorse and I don't miss them and I don't care. And that's why I have a really hard time with, I had this pattern in my life with like relationships, and you guys might relate to this in some way. It's probably why it's coming up. This is how channeled messages work. If you don't like it, it's okay. You might want to go to a like regular reader or just wait until I'm doing a normal reading. But a lot of my readings, this is just the way that it goes. I might have new viewers. Those who have been here know that this is how it goes and they vibe with it. Other people feel like they need to like control and dictate how somebody else, like a professional, does their work. I don't show up to your job and bother you, okay? What I found, sorry. You guys, I feel air energy coming off of you guys. I'm having a hard time. This feels more like a Gemini reading. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, I would get to the point with people that I would tolerate so much disrespect for them, just trying to keep the peace, which is a Libra energy. I have my Venus in my 7th house. So 7th house is ruled by Venus. It's the Libra house. So even though I don't have like a Libra placement per se, having my Venus in my 7th house gives me a really strong Libra energy, especially when it comes to my intimate relationships. I like to keep peace and balance, and that's why I also have an air Mercury, so I get along really well with air signs as well. I tend to get along really well with air signs, and I get along really well with Sagittarius. The reason for that, nobody cares. My sun is in my 9th house, so it gives me Sagittarius sun energy. That's the fun thing about birth charts, is that like you get your big 3 and you're like, okay, so these are your personal placements, and you're like, okay, so these are my, and it's like you have to look at where that planet is in your chart as well, because you pull, most people have every sign in their chart and it pulls in different ways. And what's funny is when I first started my channel, I used to talk about how I struggled in relationships with Libras. I had a lot of Libra friends, but there was always like conflict in our relationships, and I kind of like disliked Libras for a little while. And learning about that, and that's what you'll find most times, 99.9% of the time, if you dislike a placement, if you struggle with a placement a lot, it's because you have that placement somewhere in your chart. And a lot of times it's hidden like that, where you would have to kind of have some sort of like astrology know-how, and it's a part of yourself that you're rejecting. So I was like struggling in my relationships, and I didn't like that I didn't like that people perceived me as like a people pleaser or like a pushover, because I don't think that I'm much of a pushover. But after learning that, I'm like, oh, okay, that's where it comes from. It's because I'm trying to find peace and find balance. And like a lot of times in relationships with people, they will only see one side of me because they only make me feel safe expressing that one side of me, or 2, I am trying to match their energy. I like to match people's energy because with Libras, you guys might be dealing with a Libra, with Libra placements, or you might have Libra. The scales, Libras tend to value peace and harmony over like individualism. So if you know anybody with like strong Libra placements, they will tend to prefer in groups to like kind of like go along or to match people's energies. Like I've tried to explain that to people, because sometimes people will get the read on me that I'm like a people pleaser, or I don't have strong opinions. And the thing is I have very, very strong opinions. And I have very strong preferences when it comes to myself. But when I'm in a group with other people, I like to play off of other people's energy, because I think it's more fun in groups of people to find harmony and balance within the group, rather than I'm gonna go do this. Like I have one friend that I love dearly, but he's kind of a pain in the ass sometimes, because and everyone that knows this person and that is experienced this will attest. If there is a situation that causes him to he's grown a lot, but this is someone I've known forever. He gets very rigid sometimes, and he will just abandon the group to go do his own thing if he's not 100% pleased, 100% wanting to do what we're doing. I don't think that's 100% true anymore, because I feel like he's grown a lot as a person, but that's how he used to be. He used to be very okay, bye. You would be in a group of people, and then this person would disappear, and you would be like, was he kidnapped? What the hell happened to him? And you would find him on the other end of town, and you're like, what the hell are you doing? You didn't even bother to tell anybody that you were going to disappear. He's not really like that as much anymore. He's grown up a lot, as have we all. But yeah, people that have Libra, Do you want me to talk more about Sagittarius? The fire sign. I don't know why Libra's coming up. Maybe you guys have Libra. Maybe you're dealing with the Libra. It's not, the Libras don't have, they are very opinionated people. They're air signs. They're intellectuals. They are opinionated. If you get a Libra like stirred up, if you get a Libra in a place where they feel comfortable ranting to you, they will rant and they will talk shit. You know, they're not like people pleasers as easygoing as they seem. It's just in groups they prefer to go with the flow because, like I said, personally, I think it's more fun. And it depends. Like sometimes you're with a group and like the group just kind of sucks. And at that point, like depending on where I am, I will either decide it's my time to shine and I have to entertain, or I will just like be overstimulated and be like, I'm going nonverbal, I'm going home, goodbye, I'm done with this. And I have done that a lot too. That's mine. I tend to do the avoidant thing where like, I'm going home, goodbye. I don't try to find the party elsewhere. I get like mad or like overstimulated and I'm like, I'm done. I'm done socializing. But normally you want to find the balance. I don't know why we're talking about that. Is the person you're dealing with a Libra? Yeah, there's moon. The moon phases are significant right now to you, Sag, and being secretive. I'm not getting a good read on your energy. I mean, I might be reading a third party or a cross-watcher's energy more. I'm really getting here, and I don't want to cut your reading short. I mean, I'll try to pull some cards to see if I can get a better read, but I'm not getting a good read on your energy. And what I'm really getting, the advice from the Fae is to be secretive right now. Keep your cards close to your chest is what they're saying. Don't tell people what you're up to. Don't tell people what you're trying to manifest. Just, and I also get, don't start any conflict. Because I do get that there is somebody that is trying to get like, they're saying feedback, but I'm also getting dirt. There's somebody that's trying to get like more information about you. They're feeling kind of salty, honestly. They're feeling a little, the Fae are saying put in their place. This is somebody that thought that they were like masterminding a situation. They thought that they had like a good handle on you, or that they were like, they felt like they had control of a situation. They had control over you for some of you. And they've been kind of left out in the cold. And I get the Fae's advice is like, yeah, keep silent with this person. Don't entertain. Don't try to update anybody. If anybody reaches out to you, especially if they're connected to somebody that you have cut off or that you are being distant from, don't entertain it. But also, like with the be gentle coming out, I don't really get it's a good time to like start conflict, because you really like, I mean, that was kind of like my message with Aries is, you know, like, I think there's a time for battle, there's a time for war, there's a time for like standing up for yourself and sticking to your guns, and there's also a time of just like letting things be and keeping the peace. Maybe that's the like Libra energy that's wanting to come out. Sometimes it's just better to keep the peace. And I mean, I don't mean like, don't take it as like, you know, we need to stand on our moral soapbox and like, please get over yourself. Without harm to anyone. You don't always have to be up in arms trying to fight everybody. Like there's a time and place. And a lot of times, Sag, I don't even think this is Sag, I'm getting more of a cross-watcher. A lot of times when you're always combative, it takes away from the greater message because it turns people off. You know, it's you attract more flies with like sugar than, you know, is that what the saying is? Sometimes you just gotta like, you gotta play the game. You gotta know when to play the game. You don't always need to like assert your dominance over people. Sometimes it's okay just to like let people think what they want to think and keep your peace. I don't know. I hope that was beneficial for you guys. I'm telling you, for some reason, like, part of me wants to, oh my gosh, all my cards are wet now. Part of me wants to try to like get more into this energy to clarify for you guys, but the other part of me is like wanting just to leave it. And I think I'm going to listen to that feeling, that intuitive hit, just to leave it. So, and that might be for you. Leave it alone. You don't need to pick a fight right now with anybody. I get really pull your energy back and focus on yourself, because you have something big that is going to be coming to you. You might have like a new like opportunity. For some of you, it might be like a move, it might be like a new job offer, it might be like a new creative pursuit, like a new relationship. I'm really getting the best thing to do is just like let things unfold as they need to unfold. If you need to like, you know, talk with other people, I don't think that you have to be like super like secretive, but I get like keep things private right now, keep things to yourself. You don't need to like gossip. Oh my gosh, these dragonflies again, there's 2 of them. Yeah, for some of you it's you might have a new relationship coming in, but you don't really have to like, it might be something that you want to keep private for a little while, or just like keep to yourself, or like be one of those relationships where like people know about you but they don't know what's going on in your relationship. I just really get that like privacy is important for you right now, because you have something really big coming in, and it's going to be something new that requires change and requires you to take a leap of faith. So like the last thing you want when like you have like, it's basically like a timeline shift. And the last thing you want when you have like a major timeline shift coming in is to have a lot of conflict or like evil eye or like negative intentions coming at you, because it can mess things up, especially like if you are sensitive to that sort of thing, which like Sagittarius people tend to be a little bit more like spiritual and like sensitive. Whether you want to admit it or not, you have that like, you have that part of you that like is aggressive and feels the need to kind of like protect yourself. But you're also like, you roll the 9th house, and the 9th house is about like higher learning, higher perspective, like spirituality. It's about like more like tradition and like education of it. Not necessarily, no, the occult, guys, the occult is the 8th house. The occult is meant to be secret. The occult is in the 8th house of secrets. The 9th house is like spirituality and religion. It's about like things that are more in the open, and it's about like philosophy as part of the 9th house. So it's about like the study and learning and higher education of things that are like, I mean, like higher education, like obviously you have to work harder to gain that information, but it's not like secretive. Like the occult is meant to be like spooky and dark and secretive. It's part of its nature. It's Scorpio. We can do astrology class if you guys want me to teach you. I kind of weave it into my readings, because I feel like the ones that are here and need to get the message will get it. And if not, it'll come up again. I don't know. Anyways, detach from the need to like be seen right now. Just kind of like keep to yourself, let things unfold. Don't engage in fights. If you're aware that somebody is kind of playing both sides, you know, pull back your energy from them, and kind of expect when you do that people are going to have strong reactions to it. I don't know what it is. I notice that happens with me too. It's like anytime, and it's not like, I can send somebody like, I'm not afraid to double text, especially like when I'm like excited about something, or I like have an idea. I will send like 10 texts in a row when I'm excited. But if like I ever go like a couple hours without like responding to messages, and this is not one person in particular, this is across the board, people tend to like, it makes people uneasy for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm like too available with my energy. But you know, I've been learning boundaries. Not so much me crossing boundaries. I feel like I'm kind of sensitive, and I don't like to feel like I'm crossing boundaries. I feel like I'm pretty sensitive to, I don't like feeling like I'm making another person uncomfortable. That's part of why I don't talk about like the occult stuff as much with people. I do every once in a while, and if I can tell if it's like somebody's interested in it, sometimes I'll like give them a little bit, you know, just to like play with them. You might notice that too. If you're somebody that works with the Fae, if the Fae like you, if they're interested in working with you, you're probably more of like a playful person, or you're going to like get more into that energy, because they do like, you know, a lot of Fae are tricksters. They're into that like tricky word play, or dropping hints, and you know, like vagueness, and I don't know. I'm gonna let you guys go. I don't know. Whatever you have coming in for you is very much a secret, and you do have cross watchers. For some of you, I'm getting strong Libra. Or you have Libra placements, and somebody's perceiving you some sort of way, and it's not how you are, but that's how combative people are always going to see somebody that is living in peace as like a pushover, or someone that they can take advantage of. And unfortunately for them, that's why oftentimes like they end up looking kind of dumb, is because a lot of times people that are very peaceful have like had to work hard to get to that peace, and they can sit up if they want to, you know, they're choosing not to, and a lot of times it's out of wisdom. So it's not good to pick and prod and poke at people that are choosing peace in a situation, and that might be what you're dealing with, because I do get, again, there's somebody that is trying to get into your energy, and they're wanting to know what's going on with you, and I do get that it's a malicious sort of energy. I get this person is very like jealous of you. They might be kind of mad that you cut them off. They want to know what's going on with you, because they feel what's the word? They feel entitled to your energy, to your time, and they also feel like they know better than you. They feel like they should have some sort of authority in your life and what's going on. So this person is very much going to sabotage you. I don't get that they're a good friend. I get this person has some issues, has some major issues, and it might be a Libra, or for a lot of you, I do get that you have a Libra energy, or you just, you know, you're learning a lesson from a Libra right now in like, sometimes harmony is better, and it doesn't mean that you agree 100% with the people that you're choosing peace with. It just means like, really, if somebody is committed to misunderstanding you, no amount of your energy is going to change their mind. And that's something that I had to learn over time, is that like, no amount of like arguing with people in the comments of my videos was going to like stop people. It usually only encouraged it to get worse, and encouraged them to like be more aggressive, because it's almost like the more you try to defend yourself in situations, Sagittarius, the more you try to defend yourself, the more like people will try to like, you know, say that you're guilty, that, oh, you're trying so hard to defend yourself because you're guilty. It makes you look guilty in a way. So those that want to see, people are going to view you the way that they want to view you, and you really have no control over that. You only have control over your behavior. So the best thing you can do, if someone's trying to get a rise out of you, somebody's trying to like poke and prod around in your life to the point that it's making you uncomfortable, the best thing you can do, and there does come a time where, you know, you might have to use a little force with this person, stand up for yourself. You'll know when it's time. A lot of times it's best just to kind of let them look stupid though. I like to do that. I like to, and this is the lesson of the Capricorn. So Sagittarius is followed by the 10th house Capricorn. So as you go through the zodiac, you age, you learn a lesson. So like the first house, Aries, is the house of self. So Aries people tend to be more selfish and self-involved. And that's just kind of how they live. So I still do honestly struggle with people with Aries placements because they are very selfish. And if you look at your placements, people that have placements in the like later houses, so if you have like Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, like especially in your big three, but like a majority of like later signs, that means that you're an older soul. You've learned more soul lessons. So people with a lot of like Aries, Taurus, Cancer, Gemini, they tend to be younger souls. So they can be more immature people naturally. So as you go through, somebody wants to learn more about astrology. I think it's cool. It's fun. And I think any mechanism or tool you have to learn more about yourself and to understand yourself better and like other people and the way you interact with the world, like why not? And like astrology is ancient. Astrology goes back to like, you know, the beginning of time. It's one of the most ancient sciences. It's cool. And it's real. So the lesson, so every sign you learn a new lesson. So Sagittarius moving to Capricorn, you learn, I don't even remember what this was in reference to. Maybe I just need to stop talking to you guys. What was it? Well, Capricorns are more stoic in nature. They kind of know Capricorn is authority. So it's like almost like you gain your higher knowledge, your higher perspective in the Sagittarius, and then in the Capricorn, you learn how to stand back in your power and to assert authority in more of a like stoic way, but it helps you build your legacy because you're not focusing your energy on like petty battles. And I'm not saying that you do, but like Sagittariuses are known for being kind of like, you know, it's just a fire sign thing, being more combative, being kind of like loud people, being the life of the party. That's a fire sign thing, but that's a lesson for like the Sag sometimes, is that like you don't always need to pop off at people and explode at people. Sometimes truly the better thing to do is to let things kind of work out and just observe. I really like to do that. Honestly, when people are behaving in a way, especially like, and it's weird because I don't think a lot of people pick up on me being like this, because I'm a Capricorn dominant person. I'm a Saturn dominant person, but I have like a Pisces sun. I have my Cancer rising. So people view me as a very like soft like person, and I'm really not like that. I can be, yeah, but like my nature is to be more like, I don't want to say cold or hardened, but my nature is to be more like, I'm a very serious person when I want to be normally. Anyways, when I'm not like masking for people, I'm normally more like a stoic person. When I can tell somebody is trying to get a reaction or a rise out of me, sometimes I'll play into it just to like observe them. But most of the time, especially when I can tell they're taking it a little bit too far, I will just stop giving them any sort of reaction. And a lot of times what people will do is they'll think that they're getting away with whatever they're doing. And that's the best place to be in, Sag. You want people to underestimate you, truly. I mean, for the ego, no, you don't like it. But for your peace of mind and for gaining the upper hand on people, it is truly better to let people think that you don't know what you're talking about and you don't know what you're doing to a certain extent. You know, obviously like at work, you want to have some sort of authority that you know what you're doing. But I mean, like, it's always better when somebody that's wanting to compete with you thinks that like they have you, you know, they know what you're doing. because then you get to observe them when they get reckless, because that's what people tend to do. And then you can make your decision based on their behavior, because when somebody starts to get reckless with you and they show no sort of regard for how you feel and the way that they're coming off and your boundaries, when they are just like willy-nilly doing whatever they want to do, that's when you see people's true colors. So sometimes it's better to let people do what they do. That's really something I would highly recommend. I think it really does help you get to know somebody's true intentions when you're not having any sort of reaction to them. You get to know what they're gonna do. Because like let's say in a romantic sense, somebody is like a player and they're like a Casanova and they like to like juggle people. So when a player comes into your life, they're going to like kind of suss out, you know, what type of like seduction style, what type of like romance style they need to use to like get you, because it's not, they're playing. They're not interested in like, you're not going to change them. You're not the one for them. They'll tell you that if they think that that's what's gonna like, you're a conquest. And that's all you are. So the best thing to do in those situations is just to like, especially if there's somebody that's like trying to make you jealous, trying to like get a reaction out of you, just don't have a reaction. Because then they tend to up it and up it and up it till they, you know, get to a point of no return, and then you're like, oh, okay, that's who you are. I don't think that's really toxic advice. That's just like life advice. People are going to they're going to be on their best behavior when they're trying to impress you, when it's something that's new, when they have something to gain from it, and they're going to show their true nature when they can't get anything from you, when they don't think they're going to get anything from you, or they think that you'll allow bad behavior. So you don't always have to like check people. You don't always have to like assert your authority over people. Sometimes you just have to like watch and observe and let people be their undoing, because people that have bad intentions tend to get reckless over time if nobody's checking them, and they'll end up, you know, they'll be their own undoing, and then you don't have to expend any energy in it. If you have big things coming in, if you have major opportunities and change that's coming into your life, you don't want to be wasting your energy on like ego battles with like random weirdos that you're not involved with anymore, that are like obsessed with you. Like, obviously, if they're obsessed with you enough to involve third parties, you already have the upper hand, and that's already embarrassing in and of itself. And they're going to spin it that, you know, they're concerned, or they just miss you, or like they'll try to spin it that you're the villain. But when you have no reaction and their behavior gets more and more volatile because they're looking for a reaction, they look crazy, they look stupid, and you get to walk away being like, that was weird. and that's how you win the situations. And that's truly like, that's a Capricorn thing. That's a Capricorn lesson. So it's a level up. And I'm not saying that Capricorns are leveled up than a Sagittarius. I'm saying that like people are people and there's shadow sides to every sign, but it's the nature of the astrology wheel. The next sign teaches you. Aries is self. Taurus is like your surroundings, your belongings. So it's teaching you to like look further than me, and start to look at like, okay, what am I building around me? You know, this is the astrology wheel. It is what it is. It's not saying that a Taurus is more together than an Aries, but you know, it depends on somebody's sign and their nature and where they are in life. Anyways, I'm kind of done with this reading. I feel like you guys are too. Gonna go, bye.